So the next thing I like to do is a little bit of sweetening. And what I mean by that is like some broad EQ moves just to try to help the track sound more powerful, okay? The style of this music, it should not be super bright, right? This is not a modern pop song, so we want to respect that. But I still want to add a little bit of air. I want the band to feel a little bit closer to the listener. And a good way to do that is by using something like a Puigtec EQ. They just have a certain really broad, gentle EQ curve to them where it sounds really transparent. And I'll show you some tricks to get it in a position where it gets away from being too harsh. Like it doesn't make the vocals sound harsh. It just adds this beautiful airiness to a mix. So what I do is I put it on the broadest bandwidth setting, and then I usually start at 16 kilohertz, so way, way high. And then we're just going to dial this thing up. And when you listen, you'll hear how all of a sudden it sounds like a sheet is lifted off of the song, or like everything starts opening up and sounding really 3D. So give this a listen as I push this up.
Where consciousness lies bare. I thought that I heard you calling. That was the time was torn.
See, now it feels like they're, the band is a lot closer. Let me go back.
I thought I knew was somehow erased and gone. That's when the love gets chronic.
So here's the thing though, when you do this, you'll think, oh man, that sounds so much better with it boosted at 10. And then as you start mastering and going down, you'll realize really fast, you're like, oh wait, that's way, way too much brightness. So what I tend to do is I'll push it up to where I can hear it and feel it really open up and dial it back like in half and then a little bit more, okay? So original. I can really hear it here. Right here, I feel like it's like almost gone, and then it's a touchback. And that is like a perfect spot. Because what ends up happening is we get to the end, we start adding compressors, and we start doing some saturation, and then we limit or clip or whatever we want to do to bring up the volume. And this keeps getting amplified, amplified, amplified. And so it's going to come back to haunt us if we set it too bright in the beginning. So we'll start here. We might have to come back and make an adjustment, but that's the whole part of mastering. Like you don't just go through the line and then you're done. You go through the line, and then as you start realizing like, oh, now that we are compressing this or adding saturation, all these other things are getting screwed up, you go back and you adjust, and then you move forward. And each time you go through it, you want to always, bypass and reference back to the original, okay? To make sure that you're actually doing something that sounds better, not just is better for that moment, okay?
With the best, the beat and the feet, the feeling. My confidence is straight to the ceiling, so you can say that.
He said he couldn't take the